All right, Thursday the 5th, this is our full body. So what we have here is a ladder, okay? So it goes 15, 10, 5, 10, 15. We have a weighted squat to calf raise, renegade rows, reverse crunches, and swings. So I'm just going to show the exercises first. Weighted squat to calf raise. So you can either hold one weight in each hand, hold one across the middle, but you're gonna squat calves. So squat, up on your toes, squat, up on your toes. Okay. Renegade rows. This can be high plank or kneeling. So right, left equals 1. Right, left, 2, or kneeling. 1, 2, reverse crunches. That is when just, well, you can put your hands wherever you want, just your butt comes off the ground. And swings. Swings are ideal if you have a kettlebell. If not, I'll show you the different ways you can do it. Okay, so the way that this structure works is you're going to do 15 of each exercise listed below, then 10 of each, then 5 of each, then 10 of each, then 15 of each, okay? So it's a ladder. It goes down 15 to 5, and then it goes up 5 to 15, all right? So with this one, because there's no range, like we're all doing the same, if you do 15, 10, 5, and you have had it, stop there. If you can make it to 10, great. If you make it to 15, excellent, okay? So it's just gonna be, depending on what your fitness level is. So if you have to stop somewhere, try to stop at 5, and then, hopefully you can keep going. But ideally, you wanna at least do 15, 10, 5, okay? So we have our weighted squat to calf raise. So this is our squat, and instead of just standing up regular, we're going to stand up on our tippy toes, okay? So I like to hold the weight across, one dumbbell across when I'm doing this, because I feel like, it gives me the best balance when I go up on my toes maybe. I don't know, I've tried it a few different ways, but I tend to like this one the best. So get a decent distance stance. Hold your weight here. You're gonna squat down, and then you come up, you're gonna come up on your toes. 1, squat down, toes. 2, squat down, toes. So sometimes what happens is you go up and you're stuck up there for a long time. Sometimes you go up and come right down. Doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to go crazy over it. It's not a big deal. If you just can't do it at all, don't do it at all and just do a weighted squat. But I just noticed that sometimes depends on what type of shoe you're wearing. Some of them make it harder than others to go up on your toes. So don't go crazy over it. Just, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. You could hold a weight on each side, I guess. That's fine too. Doesn't matter. You can do whatever's comfortable, and you can do no weight at all. You can just do squat to calf raise. I do find that if I'm doing it that way, I like to go like this with no weights in my hands. I don't know. I feel like it helps me go up on my toes. A renegade row. So as you saw, this one can be done in high plank or in kneeling. I'm going to show you in kneeling. If you were to do it in high plank, you would just be up like this. So if you are doing it in regular high plank, you want to open up your stance a little bit. So if you're normally here, open it up to here, okay? Because you're going to be shifting your weight. So the wider your base is, the more stable you're going to be, okay? The closer everything is, the harder it's going to be. So if you're kneeling, you're going to roll to the front of those knees, and you can hold, I guess especially if you're kneeling, you can just hold them 1, to, it kind of just depends on how your weights are shaped. So this is actually a pretty good hexagon. Some weights are more rounded. So if you're afraid of your weight rolling, and you especially don't want to like hurt your wrist, I just put them on the inside of my hands, okay? So I'm used to, even if I have a weight that will work, I'm just used to doing it this way, so I do it this way no matter what, okay? So I just keep my hands on the outside, I grab, row, switch, grab, row, 1, row, switch, row, 2, row, switch, row, 3. So when you row, you're just basically bringing the weight like this, okay? So here to here. You want to make sure that you don't open your body. Everything should stay the same, just your arms should lift. So you shouldn't be doing this, and you shouldn't be, lifting up your knees or rocking in any way. You want to keep everything, that's why I was mentioning widening your stance. It's going to make you have a stable base. You're not going to feel as wobbly, okay? Reverse crunches. This is exactly how it sounds, the reverse of a crunch. So what a crunch is these, okay? Reverse crunch is lifting your butt off the ground. So instead of lifting your shoulders off the ground, you lift your butt off the ground. Lift, lift, okay? So when you do these, try not to let your legs come down. Try to always keep them here. So when you lift, return there. Lift, return there, okay? And lastly, we have our swings. So what I was saying before is if you have a kettlebell, that is ideal for swings, but not everybody has one. I do, but I never show it with one because I already know that. So I always show it with dumbbells. So you can do a couple different things. If you have like one heavy dumbbell, you can hold 2 lighter ones. You'll just have to feel what feels right for you. But in this instance, I'm gonna use 2 lighter ones, and I'm just gonna kind of hold them near each other, okay? So what my swing is gonna look like is this. Okay, so if you have never done a swing before, it can be very confusing. This is another one that I have seen and taught in person, and people either seem to get it or they don't get it. So I always try to do my best to explain it. When you swing, when you deadlift, okay, you're doing a hinging motion. So people don't understand what that means. Hinging motion means that you are bending forward from the waist, okay? So here's your waist, you are bending forward, okay? You're not doing that exactly in a swing, but for the explanation of it all, this is your hinge. You hinge forward from your hips, okay? Now, with the context of the swing, what you want to do, like we talked about on Tuesday with our upper body, when I said we were doing the bent over, or no, we were doing tricep kickbacks, and I said you have to get in your bent over stance, that is very similar as well. So what you're doing is you are pushing your hips backward, okay? Not down, backward, and you're hinging at the hip, and your knees are slightly bent, okay? So the more that your hips push back, the more that your back hinges, okay? The more that your hips and butt move toward the wall behind you, the more that your body hinges, okay? This is your hinge movement, okay? You should feel it in your hamstrings. You should feel it in your butt. That is a hinge. I'm only bending my knees as much as they need to go. They are comfortably doing it on their own. I'm not thinking about bending, I'm not forcing them. It's all part of the hinge motion, okay? So one thing offsets the entire hinge. The minute that you start pushing back, you're setting the hinge in motion, okay? So you don't even need to think about it. It just naturally happens when you push your hips backward, okay? So that is the motion that we are going for. Hinge forward, squeeze your butt a little bit. You don't want to do this, but just a nice kind of hip check at the top. Hinge, check. Hinge, check. hinge, check, okay? That is your swing motion. What a lot of people do that is not correct is they swing like this. Okay, notice where my butt's going. Right down toward the ground, I'm doing a squat. My back is not hinging at my hips. I'm basically doing a squat with an arm raise. Squat, arm raise, or a squat swing, okay? Your swing hinge motion looks like this, okay? And then obviously you've got your knees bent, so it goes like this. That looks nothing like this, okay? But so many people cannot tell the difference when they're actually doing it. So here is my example again. I'm just gonna hold one this time. Hinge, check, hinge, check, hinge, check. Now your arm is just a vessel to hold the weight. So it doesn't need to do anything crazy either. Everything I'm doing right now is naturally happening. I'm not purposely trying to bend my back. I'm not purposely trying to lift the weight. It's all a part of the hinge motion, okay? This is what you don't want to do. Squat, swing, squat, swing. This is a hinge, this is a squat. Hinge, squat. And sometimes I even make that a compound exercise to drive in even more how different those movements are, yet some people just can't put it together. So when in doubt, if you are swinging, if you are deadlifting, if I say hinge, butt to wall, okay? Hinge always means butt to wall. It never means butt to floor, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. So that's your full body. If you ever have questions on your form and you try to watch yourself, you're not sure, you can always film yourself and send it to me and I will look at it and try to help you, okay? So if that whole hinge explanation was way too confusing for you, you can reach out at another time. Like I said, you can even film yourself and I will try my best to guide you, okay?